And now we catch up with the man between the sticks in Tifton, Mike Taylor, keeper for Tift and the Tift Blue Devils. Mike, thanks for taking time out of your busy schedule to catch up with me.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Happy to be here.
All right. I talked to Coach Earls to kind of get to the lay of the land here, but I wanted to talk to you about some things. I know that you started out playing football as a wide receiver, and it was under Coach Anders when you were younger. Why soccer? Why'd you get interested?
Well, to be completely honest, if you know Coach Anders, he doesn't let his athletes have an off season. He makes you do another sport. And because I really, really did not want to run track, I went to soccer tryouts the very last day of soccer tryouts as honestly as a joke. Like I didn't really expect to make the team or really do anything with it if I did, but I just, showed up. I had a great day at tryouts, and I mean, everything started working out from there. But it was really just, I hated track so bad.
Why goalie? Why goalie?
Um, well, because like you just said, I mean, I played wide receiver. I have good hands, so um, I felt like it'd be the easiest position for me to learn, especially with soccer. Like having to have a ball at your feet and be able to control it at running at full speed. I just didn't feel like as a sophomore I had time to really pick up on that to be a field player. And like I said, I'm athletic and I got good hands from being a wide receiver. So I felt like goalie was just kind of the right fit for me.
How much of an education was it when it came to learning what you could and couldn't do and what you needed to do when it came to grabbing, distribution, diving, corners, goal kicks, rules of the game, that kind of stuff?
It was a lot to take in. It was definitely some just learning as I go. Cause I remember I got in my first game. It was our varsity scrimmage, and we were blowing the other team out. So I came in the second half, and the first time I touched the ball, it was like just a routine save, nothing crazy. Caught the ball, and I went. And you know how there's the 18 box, and then there's the D outside of it.
Mm-hmm.
The D being there, I thought I could step into that and distribute the ball, but I got called for a foul right there, first time touching the ball, and gave up a free kick from like 20 yards out. They didn't score it, but that was so I knew right then that it was like I had a whole lot to learn, and then corners and free kick or goal kicks and stuff like that. I didn't even start working on that till like halfway through the season, just because I had to learn the real like rules and stuff of the game and how soccer really works.
And then you get into the whole thing about, okay, I've got to set up my wall. I've got to figure out how many guys I want. I've got to line them up because I think that if I put the wall over here, I can defend this section of the net over here. I mean, there's a lot of moving parts that you've had to learn in a couple of years.
Yes, sir. I mean, like I said, like it was just, I mean, it was a whole lot to take in. It was kind of just learning as I go. Like I couldn't really I didn't really have too much time to focus on one thing because I had so much to learn in such a short time. So it was like I just had to, you know, make the best out of every single possible situation that I had to get better because I didn't have a lot of time. And I mean, like I said, like it was mainly like the first probably month or so, like into the season, I wasn't doing anything but just like, learning how soccer works. Cause I mean, I've never touched a soccer ball before that day at tryouts. And so I had a lot to learn. And, um, but once I like got the rules and everything, like, knowing what I can do and what I can't do, that's when I started to get into the technical side of things. And I mean, that was a lot easier to pick up than the rules because being in sports my whole life, there's a lot of similar rules across sports, but like soccer, it was so much different from anything that I've ever been involved with or anything. So
And you've had to do it. Obviously, you've had some loss in your family, and I think that. And I was talking to Coach Earls about it, and I said that you lose your grandmom and your mom less than a year apart, and you end up getting a bonus mom to help you out, Miss Caroline. You've had to grow up pretty quick with all of this loss and still, want to be out there active as a part of the community and be there as a part of Tift. What's it been like growing up too fast, I guess, in some parts of your life?
I mean, it's been honestly, I kind of got used to it because I mean, even before my grandma and my mom died, like just growing up, like as a little kid, I had to grow up so fast because I mean, we didn't really have too much, and I just I had to learn how to not survive on my own, but like if push comes to shove, like being able to do so,
Mm-hmm.
and like just living off of what I had, which like I said wasn't much. So I mean, once I got like probably like seventh, eighth grade, I don't know, it was kind of like just I mean that just became my life, like just growing up, having to grow up really fast. And I mean, it's not the best thing in the world, but I mean it's definitely not the worst. Like I'm really I wish circumstances were different, obviously, but I'm really thankful that I had to grow up as fast as I did because I feel like it's given me like an advantage in just life, like having to grow up and mature so fastly. And so, I mean, you know, it could always be worse. So,
What's it like having your bonus mom?
she's great, man. She's everything any kid could ever ask for in a mom. I mean, just the fact that she took me in like willingly, didn't have to, just took me in just because out of the goodness of her heart, and showed me the same kind of love that she showed her other son and her daughter, and gives me what she gives them, feeds me, gives me a roof, a bed, stuff like that. I mean, it's just like I said, she's just everything you could ask for in a mother. So
Do you think of yourself as a role model for other young men your age, or for those who are younger, because of having to grow up faster, being there for others, learning something new in a new sport, and having this opportunity in Spain? Do you think of yourself as a role model, or do folks look up to you in any way, do you think?
I mean, I don't necessarily think of myself that way, but there's definitely folks that look up to me, and for me, it's just trying to be, because I've had to grow up so fast. Like it's just coming to realize that like I gotta be the best person that I can be all the time. So that's what it is for me, and like I'm thankful that I do have people that look up to me and try to act like me in certain ways and stuff like that. But I mean, I don't think of myself as like a this huge, or I don't try to be this huge role model anyways. I just try to, like I said, be the best person that I can be.
Because and I know that there were T-shirts that were out. It's like "Be like Mike Taylor." What's it like to have your name on a T-shirt where folks can sit there and reference Mike on a piece of clothing? What's that like?
I mean, it's it's a great feeling because like it was my wide receiver coach, who actually started that, who had those shirts made. He him and the rest of the coaching staff just loved me, but since he was a little closer with me since he was my position coach, but um he got together with one of my soccer coaches, Coach Dawson, and his wife, and they had those shirts made, and it's just like, I mean, coaches have their favorites and everything, but like for them to go and put it on the shirt, like it just means a little more knowing that how they feel about me and that I'm being the best that I can be. So much so that they went and put it on the shirt.
What did you think when the folks in Spain at Etude reached out to you and they wanted to sit there and say, okay, there's this top 10 guy in saves in the state of Georgia as a senior who'd only picked up the sport a couple of years ago, and this outfit in Spain that does gap year programs. When they reached out to you, what was your initial reaction?
My initial thought, to be 100% honest, I thought it was fake. I was like, there's no way there's a program in Spain that wants me to come play for them.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, I looked at the email, read it through a couple times, researched the place and everything, and I mean, it was legit, and that was just like, it was honestly unreal, like, because I mean, as a soccer player, like I grew up a football player, I've always wanted to go to the NFL, but as a soccer player, like that's the goal, so to speak, like in the US, to be able to go overseas and play soccer. Like that's the kind of you made it kind of deal of soccer for a American player anyway. So I mean, when I like realized that it was real and realized it was an actual opportunity that I had, it was just, I mean, I was more in shock than anything, and it was just like an opportunity that I couldn't pass up. I would hate myself for it if I did. So,
And I know that you're having a lot of folks there in Tift and in Tifton and in South Georgia want to try to help you out with the GoFundMe. And I know that initially you were kind of like, well, I'll find a way to do it. You don't do those kinds of things just because of hearing about the kind of guy that you are. How humbling is it when people sit there and go, no, we'll do this. We'll help you out here. What was the conversations about with the GoFundMe and everything?
I mean, okay, well, the the GoFundMe got started like completely without my knowledge. I didn't know anything about it, and I'm glad that they did it though, that they set it up, because I would have told them no.
Yeah.
But it would have been really tough to make this happen without that. So, but I mean, just like knowing that there's people throughout throughout Tifton and South Georgia that are willing to help me get to where I want to be, and it's a great feeling, because I mean, especially being a soccer player, like all the money in sports down here goes to like football, basketball, baseball. Like soccer is not really a big deal in South Georgia. So for them to support me and my soccer dreams, like it's just, it feels like, I don't know, it kind of like a feeling of like accomplishment that I'm doing something right, to have the support of so many people.
And they have faith in you.
Yes, sir. So like it's just like a sense of accomplishment more than anything, that it's like, these people believe in me and they want to see me do good in life, and that they're just willing to do that is just, it's a great feeling.
How much soccer do you watch?
I'm gonna be honest, I do not watch a lot of soccer.
Okay. When it comes to goalkeepers, is there anybody that you kind of gravitate toward for one reason or another, or are you just kind of like in your own lane right now?
Yeah, there's just one. He's American. He's an American keeper. He played for the national team.
Mm-hmm.
I can't tell you when. His name is either, I want to say, Tim Howard.
Yeah, Tim Howard. Exactly. He is an American legend that plays the same position that you do.
He I really like him because he's a lot, or I'm a lot like him in a soccer sense, like, just raw talent, went into the sport with his own, with just going about it his own way, like, and his style of play, like the aggression that he brings, and like the athleticism, the more athletic than technical kind of play style that he has, is like that's the kind of player that I am. So I mean, I like to watch his highlights and stuff. Really.
Hang out on YouTube and just go down the YouTube rabbit hole and catch up on Tim Howard that way.
Yeah.
Since we're talking here in mid-June, what are the next steps in the calendar for you? What are the timetables that we have to kind of keep an eye out for?
Well, right now is just preparing. I have to move in August 5th, so I'm gonna leave between the 2nd and 4th, sometime in there.
Okay.
I mean, until then, it's just preparing to go over there. Like mentally preparing to be across the world for a year. Physically preparing to be competing with some of the best athletes that I've ever competed against in any sport. So just
Well,
preparation right now.
and we'll keep an eye on it. Mike, thanks for sharing your story, and thanks for giving us the update on everything. We're going to be keeping an eye on you as you head over to Spain, over to Valencia and Ature to take the next steps and to see how your career continues to grow from what it did down there at Tift and now going overseas. We'll keep an eye on you. Thanks for hanging out with us.
Yes, sir. Thank you for having me.